There is one thematic tension that persists between Jesus and his disciples. And it is also the tension that persists between Jesus and the Pharisees. And the tension that persists is that they are wanting, needing, demanding, expecting a political solution, a political kingdom. And he is trying to tell them it's not natural, it's not political, it's not what you expect, but it is real. It is in fact the last words that his disciples speak to him before he departs this earth. They are consumed with this idea of a political kingdom. Now, in the fullness of times, God came, born of a woman, born under the law. And in that perfect fullness of times, he started something under political oppression, which is a shining neon signal that the kingdom doesn't need politics to find its success. It coexists with politics that are hostile to its purpose. So Jesus' theme throughout is it's going to be a kingdom, it's coming now, but it's not what you expect. If they expected a white horse and a prince on a steed, he came in on a donkey. If they expected a grand entry, he came as a baby and he picked a barn. He just could not do anything the way they expected. The conversation with Nicodemus is probably most telling. Nicodemus is a member of the Jewish Senate. And so when he comes to Jesus, he does not use singular pronouns to refer to himself. He uses plural pronouns as if the Senate had been talking about Jesus. And he says, "We know that God has sent you. For no one could do the things you do unless God was with him." Now, all he said is, "You're anointed." But Jesus knew where this conversation was leading. He knew why this senator had come to him at night. This guy was putting out an olive branch and saying, "Will you be our revolt leader? Will you be the Messiah? Because if you will, I think the Senate will get behind you." This was revolution. This was treason against Rome. But Jesus knew exactly where he was going, so he jumped the gun and he immediately starts talking about the kingdom. "Verily, verily, I say to you, unless you are born again, you will not be able to see the kingdom of God if it does appear." And Nicodemus asks him some questions, and Jesus says something. "Unless you're born of water and spirit, you can't enter this kingdom." And then he says, "Don't marvel that I say you must be born again." And why should he not marvel? Because that which is born of flesh is flesh. The kingdom is not fleshly. And this continues. He says, "If I cast out demons by the finger of God, then the kingdom of God has come." That's what Nicodemus couldn't see. That's what he couldn't enter. He couldn't enter into participation in casting out the power of the devil with the power of God. Remember when he sends the 70 out? And he says, "You're going to have authority over this, you're going to heal this, you're going to raise the dead, you're going to do that." And he sends them forth. And when they go out and they start moving in the power of the Spirit, did they kill a Roman centurion or dethrone a prefect or what happened? Not much politically. They went into houses and they stayed there and they preached the gospel. And what did they tell them? They said the kingdom of God is at hand. And how do you know it's at hand? Because of the power of the Spirit that is working through us right now in your village. And when that happened and they moved in this power, what did Jesus see? As he saw an aggregation of people step out in the power of the Spirit and start speaking to the power of darkness, he said, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." Now that's a dethroning if ever I saw one. That is a kingdom image. And that's an insight that when the church starts to move in the power of the Spirit, the kingdom of God becomes real.